Hi there, Theresa here from theresamonro.com, and I am here with, not quite sure what to call this, but just talking about some current energies that are happening. I know that what we've been dealing with partially has been the Earth's frequency has been rising a lot, and it I knew it was going to be ending up happening during um, the summer months in the northern hemisphere. I didn't know it was going to be for this many days in a row. It's as our consciousness increases, the heartbeat called the Schumann resonance of the earth increases as well. And sometimes it's vice versa, like the heartbeat of the planet determines the frequency of everything that's on it. So she's like, okay, we're guiding you just a little bit more towards where it is humanity wants to go. And those that are headed towards the new earth are going to be, you know, raising their frequency more and more towards, as the earth's frequency goes up. Because you've heard me speak before around ascension and the energies that are shifting and whatnot. Now, at the time of this being filmed is the 13th of June. If most of you really, it depends on which part of the world you're in. But in the hemisphere of right around, oh gosh, the United States and whatnot, I guess as early as the 11th of June in Australia, but the 13th through 11th through the 13th, possibly going into the 14th, many of you have been feeling this emotional intensity. We'll just make it easy and say the past couple of days, right? This energy, if you've been feeling this, has been the energy of the current moon, as well as the eclipse window that's about to open. In terms of, for those of you that don't know, we've got 2 eclipses coming up, as well as Mercury retrograde, and we have the solstice energy of the 21st. And you guys, if you're paying attention to my YouTube community tab or to my Instagram stories, you're going to notice that I said that June 12th was when there was going to be the next jump in energy spikes or energy shifts. We're at that now, okay? This energy is pretty intense. This is just a precursor. This is just like the cherry on top for next month. There's some things that I really recommend you guys do for, more than just using your tools, but to make it easier. There's a reason why everything on my website right now is buy one, get one free, and that's through the 16th of June in Hawaii time, because the emotions are going to be rising. And if you think they're intense now, wait until you get into July season. Now, end of July, things are going to be different. Some are going to feel like it's a bit of a hangover. But I'll tell you, for a lot of people, dreams are going to be coming true. But before we get into that, there's a few subjects that the beings of light have asked me to address, because anger may be one of the emotions that comes up. Okay, they're saying let the intensity come up, let the emotions come up, see a therapist, get healing done, hire an intuitive for clarity, whatever it is that you need, however you process it. There are a ton of endings about to happen, okay? It's endings that are supposed to happen. For a lot of people, these endings happened earlier this year. You've had this window. Really, the signs are going to be dealing with this the most are Geminis and Leos and Cancers, okay? More so Gemini than anybody else. You guys have been watching the Gemini drama since right around, let's see, October 2016. Those people that they're having to release, egoic attachment to is going to be forced at this point. All of 2019, they've had the option to, and some have done a really good job of stepping away, but there's some where, God or their I Am Presence or their team have said, you have to step away from this person in order to progress. Like, codependence will no longer be tolerated. Like, you can't take those frequencies and attachments and things with you into the higher dimensions. You can't ascend while operating in an an abuse of power, an abuse of attachment. Okay. Um, so these endings are about to happen for those that refused all year. Okay. And have had this opportunity. Okay. That's going to really affect the Geminis. And somewhat the Cancers and the Leos. Now, everybody else it affects indirectly. Because what they show me are those three on the stage, and everybody's been waiting for them to, it's like they've been congregating on the side of the stage, deciding what play they're going to put on. And the rest of the audience has been like, hey, we bought tickets. Are you going to put on the show? Like, is this going to dismantle? Like, are we going to have an encore? What's going on here? So a lot of Libras are seeing some of this as being frustrating as well. As I mean, there's others in their own way. So, for a few who have chosen to stubbornly hang on, this is usually some Taurus energy that's playing out. But part of what Taurus's lesson is to learn divine will over over like control, to learn to surrender, because there's a big portion of Tauruses that haven't necessarily been listening. And so for this thing that's been playing out for many of the Geminis since like October 2016, where this person is not meant to be in their life long term, but for some reason are hanging on, which is possibly mixed in with a little Cancer energy there, which is, they know how to attach well. But that's normal for Cancers because it's like motherly type energy, and mothers are supposed to be, attached to their children. That's common, but it happens to play out in other ways. But for those that have been told to let go, they're dealing with some stubbornness, and they're stating, like, don't say the universe didn't warn you, and that your soul didn't warn you, because for those of you that this is going to happen to, it's because you've already known this was something that was supposed to happen. Okay. Now, the whole rest of the group who have listened to their I am presence, listened to their internal guidance, kudos to you. And there's also, of course, a couple that have said that they have listened but have not. There's some that have physically separated themselves, but the attachment's still there energetically. It is an absolute requirement for Ascension, part of the new Earth, to release these, attachments. So for those that have already detached or been going with the flow or in a state of allowance, and there's a spray for that if you need it, then this is going to be an easier time for you. But there's still others that are going to be dealing with some emotional intensity, okay? For almost all, dreams are coming true on the other side of the eclipse season. This looks like the end of July and the beginning of August, okay? For some, it gets into September, but the thing is, prior to September 1, they really want everybody to be with who they're supposed to be with, doing what they're supposed to be doing. Their I am presence is really, really super active of everybody on the planet right now. That's essentially your soul. Your I am presence is 12 to 55 feet above your head. And what the higher self is it's a portion of your soul and your human self. That's about an arm's reach above your head. Your I am presence has no human aspects to it whatsoever. And then, of course, you've got the human self, which has a portion of your soul in it. It's like, that's the best way I know how to describe it in human terms. But your I am presence is fully connected to God. It doesn't have any of the egoic references or anything like that. Now, part of the ascension is allowing the I am presence to be embodied in physical form. That's why you see that halo looking thing behind ascended beings. That is them having ascended, but they also are embodying their I am presence in the physical. And so you will see this bright light that is circular around their head that's different from their auric field. So anyway, but that's something different for some of you that are curious. Now, one of the big things, this is going to be a bit of a topic that is serious to talk about, okay? And remember, like, through these times, because I can sense it now just over the past 2 days, I'm like, oh my God, are we going to make it through? Are we going to make it out of, the next 6 weeks alive? But that's why I've got 30 Days of Light. It's something that's sent by distance. It's buy one, get one free right now, so you could have it to carry you from mid-June through mid-August. It's on my website, theresamonro.com. So seriously, like, if you want to be supported and not feel so much of the intensity, or still having miracles and staying in the flow of God, and because what happens is when these intense emotions come up, sometimes people hang on to them and they like shut down their flow to God, and so their life force is minimal and they're not manifesting the way that they want to. And so 30 Days of Distance Light, where you receive healing every single day, helps with that. Now, something that I'm really enjoying with that as well is that businesses have started to ask me to send light. So it's for the business itself, for their employees, and for their website. So they're telling me to mention that as well. But I don't make these just to sell, but also at the same time, like, this is a business, right? Okay, so they want to get into stubbornness and the opposite of allowing. There is a series that I'm coming out with that lets you know. Well, they're stating not even to put that out. Okay, just yet. But they're stating, like, stubbornness tends to be a trait that's around, they're stating 3 different signs, and one of them is Taurus, and it's some of the astrologers are going to know what I'm talking about here in terms of they're just the signs that don't want to change. Some astrologers will tell you that it's based on, oh, well, they're just, pickably, they're super stable, but there's a side of stubbornness that is not a spiritual trait. And this is something that they've been mentioning for the past week to get out to you guys. So, they're talking about how stubbornness is the opposite of allowing. Stubbornness is like, God really assists Geminis and Tauruses around, and sometimes Capricorns, around staying stuck in a certain way. Divine will is allowing God, the universe, your I Am Presence, your soul, the angels to guide you on your soul's journey, and to allow you to proceed forward in life guided in the path of light. There are certain people that will try to control it to keep from feeling pain and all these other things that are coming up, okay? But stubbornness is basically the opposite of allowing. And stubbornness is also like, oh, well, I can make it work with this person, and then you end up having this person ripped out of your life. There's about to be a lot of that. I don't look forward to that because I don't want anybody to suffer, but attachment is the basis of all suffering. And, Buddha is here to assist as well. He's present for this channeling of information, and he's sending you guys some of the golden light, but he's like, if you really want assistance, sign up for the 30 Days of Light and he'll be with you. So they just want people to really stop latching on to an idea or a certain human being, because when you do that and you're applying labels, you're creating expectations. And stubbornness is the opposite of allowing, the opposite of flowing with the divine, the opposite of divine will. It's like you've set up a dam in the river. It's a trait that all Tauruses have chosen to become. We all have Taurus in our chart somewhere, so we have some area where we are dealing with stubbornness. So some people are having anger right now around watching somebody that is meant to be letting go of something, and it's hello Cancer, or, well, they're stating Cancer, but hello Gemini, and somebody trying to rope that Gemini in. For some that's those sitting on the Gemini Cancer cusp, and for others it's a few Leos that are just like, ooh, let me let me rope you in a little bit. You know, this is something having to do with the blue ray of light as well, around divine will. There is a spray of light called the divine compass, so that you're always, you know, allowing in divine will, also always allowing in, you know, yourself to be guided by the divine for your divine purpose in life, whether that's career or whether that's you know, your soul's like, well, you're meant to be here, you have the soul contract here, and if you're, as long as you're hanging on to this person over here, you can't level up in life. And so just watch your stubbornness over the next month or so. Make sure you're flowing with divine will. Make sure, like, if you feel guided to sign up for something, that you go ahead and do so, because the energy just shifted in terms of this recording, because there was a lot of like anger and frustration at the beginning of the recording, and now it's soothed out a lot, you know, so that's them oftentimes providing some healing. So we're going live weekly between now and July. Actually, it's more 3 times a week right now, but over on Patreon, and so that we can have like different healings and things like that are periodic. But if you need something that's really personalized to you, I recommend the 30 Days of Light. So it's okay if the anger's coming up for some of you. That's completely understandable. But again, if you're wanting, it's just watch your stubbornness over the next, they're stating 60 days, and things are going to get a lot easier for you. It's interesting because on this side of the eclipses, I've watched some of the readers already, some of my intuitive reading friends providing sessions. They're just so frustrated, and the energy coming in is really intense. So it's not an easy time to be reading for certain people, and the clients just kind of want answers. But it's just there's just an intensity that comes with all of this. So, but there's answers for you. I hope that this is helpful, and if there's something else that I could provide clarity on, please do let me know. And if this is helpful, please give it a thumbs up and a like, and feel free to share with others. All right, lots of love. Bye.